Welcome back, everyone, to our weekly show of the Wild West Sportsfellas edition.
Hey, here we go. It's your Buckeye Believin' Houday Hopeful, Captain Chris with a K.
And it's your boy, Driston.
You guys, I keep promising myself I was going to do a catch in for it. But next show, I will have it. I promise.
Later.
This is your host, Carlos. You guys, we are in week 2.
Hey,
We're going to talk about
go.
the college game day of the week. We also have our special show, the DDK Fantasy Lineup. Also, we got a new introducing show, Who's Hot and Who's Not.
Ooh.
And then we'll also feature the game day of the week. That is the Kansas City Chiefs. Taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. All right, well, let's go ahead and take a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
What's up, guys and girls? My name is Aaron, and I am a NASM certified personal trainer. Big shout out to all the listeners in the podcast. I'm going to speak to you guys right quick on why exercise is beneficial for your mental health. During and after exercise, our bodies release chemicals including endorphins, serotonin, and dopamine neurotransmitters. These chemicals induce a positive mood and increase our feeling of well-being. They also combat feelings of anxiety, stress, and will even relieve physical pain. The endorphins that are released will also help improve your quality of sleep and improve energy levels throughout the day. For more information on how exercise can improve your mental health and overall quality of life, feel free to call or text me at 316-737-5100. Thank you and happy listening.
College game day of the week, we have the Oklahoma Sooners visiting the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Oh, this is...
So let's do a quick breakdown here. Drisson here is a Boomer Sooner fan. Tell me how you think the game's going to go.
I think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be like the first two games. You know, two colleges with a lot of history, a lot of well-known players and championships. But, man, as where Nebraska is right now.
That's the past.
Yeah, that's the past. Where Nebraska is right now, it's nowhere close to the Sooners. I don't think they're going to compete. I think it's going to be Dylan Gabriel's going to put up 300 yards. We're going to do great, man, and I think it's going to be a blowout.
Do you by chance know the point spread on that one?
I do not know the point spread on that one.
While you look at that, I believe Scott Frost got released this weekend after losing to some division FBS.
I think it was Georgia Southern. They
Georgia
lost
Southern, yeah, not a team that Nebraska should be losing to. I mean, that's KU levels there.
Hey, at least they won.
They did, exactly.
Shout out to the
real
Jayhawks.
team.
So it looks like,
go
real
ahead.
quick, yeah, it looks like projected win by 11.
Okay, so OU's the favorites by 11. Yeah, I think that's a bet. And is it in Norman or is it in Omaha or Lincoln?
It's in Lincoln.
I'd still take that. I'd still take that line, man. I think Nebraska is just a shell. That's all I've heard talk of here lately. And they lost to, like you said, Georgia Southern. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't touch Nebraska. And they haven't been well. I mean, they fired their last winning coach, Bo Pelini, who could still get them to a bowl, and they haven't. I'm not sure they've been to a bowl since they fired him.
It's so unfortunate because Nebraska is a very prestigious football program. You know, shout out to our Nebraska fans. Sean, that tunes into our show, he knows that I give him a hard time. So, Sean, this is dedicated to you, my friend. This one's especially for you, all the Cornhusker fans. Here's the deal. Nebraska just can't close out games. They've let silly plays get the best of them. And this coach he's prominent. I mean, he's got a great resume. It's just that got into the program, was trying to turn things around. He's been there for a little bit, and he just couldn't get them to where they need to be because it's Nebraska. Nebraska is known for their football program. And if you can't deliver, you'll see your way out. Mm-hmm. And now you're getting Oklahoma coming into town. Oklahoma's just under the radar, winning. And they're just taking care of business. And the thing is, they're just going to make their way to Nebraska, take care of 4 quarters, and they're going back to Norman.
Yes,
it's
sir.
as simple as that. Oklahoma, I can't bet against Oklahoma in this situation. It's just that Nebraska's in disarray right now, and all Oklahoma needs to do is just keep racking up wins. One thing I will say, I still think Nebraska should have never left the Big 12. I wish they never did. Those were some great games. And I just perhaps, why not leave the Big 10 and come back to the Big 12? That'd be nice.
They getting a much bigger check from the Big 10. That's why they won't do that.
We got you. Well, that was the college game day of the week. Now let's go ahead and take a quick pause and take our following sponsors.
Since 1990, Wichita's own Superstar Sports has everything for the fans' needs, whereas for NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, or either college. So please check them out at either the Town West Mall in Wichita, Kansas, or the Town East Mall, Wichita, Kansas. Whereas Superstar Sports, where every fan is welcome.
Another new segment that we got here. This is Dristan's show. This is the
Oh,
show
yes,
that
sir.
we went ahead and did was collaborate on how many wins that we are gathering up. And so far, Eric behind the scenes, Eric has gathered up the wins. In week 1, the new show is under your name, D's Kingdom Picks. So we're going to try to dethrone you. So week 1, you won. You won a total of 9. I think you were able to rack up 9 wins.
Yep.
So we're going to go ahead and you can go ahead and do your clout. Go ahead. This is your segment. Yeah.
Let's go.
All right. Well, that's enough. All right. You're killing my airtime here. All right. So before we tune in, let's go have a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
What's up, folks? It's your pal, Chris with a K. Let me introduce you to a new friend of mine, Ryan Wagner at Wag Sports Memorabilia in Des Moines, Iowa. Your number one source for sports memorabilia. We're talking hats, t-shirts, jackets, and all sorts of other items. And not only that, Ryan can get you any of these items for any team, NCAA, NFL, NBA, and the Major League Baseball guys. So make sure if you're in Iowa, and especially Des Moines, stop in at Wag Sports Memorabilia. Also find them on the web at www.wagsports.com. Thanks, Ryan. You guys have a great day.
Okay, here we go. We have our week 2 lineup. We've had a lot of ups and downs left and right. So let's go ahead and do a quick breakdown. And I'm going to start this off with you, Chris. So we have the New England Patriots going against the Pittsburgh Steelers. New England is so far 0-1, and we have Pittsburgh coming off a win against your team, the Cincinnati Bengals. So it's at Pittsburgh. Who are you taking and why?
I've got Pittsburgh in this one. I was trying to get the points, but there it is. I think that the Patriots are barely favored in this one, just slightly. So not that it matters on the point spread with our game. But I would have Pittsburgh winning this one outright. I think they're coming off. I know they lost some key defensive players, but the Patriots just look a little discombobulated last week. They couldn't do anything against the Dolphins, and I know the Dolphins are looking good, but man, they could not do anything against the Dolphins, and it was just kind of sad to see the Patriots look that bad. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Steelers taking this one. I think their defense, even though they lost T.J. Watt, I think Cam Hayward's still okay. He had left the game, but I think he's still okay, and dude's a beast in the middle, man. He just tears up guards and centers. So, and Fitzpatrick is really playing a good games over there at the Steelers. So this is going to be an interesting one because the offense is a little rough, but I think the Steelers are going to take this one.
Yeah, and to spread, it looks like the Patriots are projected to win by 2. And I disagree with that. I agree with you. I think the Steelers are going to go in there, and solely because of their defense. Their defense played phenomenally against you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're going to do the same thing against the Patriots. Like he was saying, they were struggling against Miami. It's going to continue with
I don't think Miami's
Pittsburgh.
defense is what Pittsburgh's defense is.
Yeah.
And I don't know that Pittsburgh's offense is much worse than what Miami has. I mean, they're probably not quite as good because they don't have Tyreek Hill and such. But, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Miami's got a fast offense. And, the only really aspect of Pittsburgh's offense that I don't really trust is the quarterback. He's not terrible, but he's not a franchise QB, man. So it's going to be – the reason Pittsburgh's going to win is because I feel like they're going to make the Patriots just shut them out, no touchdowns.
This is a tough one because New England has been very successful through the years going into Pittsburgh and dealing with Pittsburgh, but that's
When
in the
they
past.
had Tom Brady.
That's in the past. You see how I said that? The past. And right now, Trubisky looks comfortable. I mean, he's playing. He's doing what needs to get done, and he's gaining rapport with the wide receivers. We're going against a New England team that's different, and I feel right now that the momentum's still going. So I'm going to take Pittsburgh on this one. So Pittsburgh at home. Next up, we have the Carolina Panthers visiting the New York Giants. So Carolina came off a last-second loss to the Cleveland Browns, and the Giants beating the Tennessee Titans. Tristan, who are you taking and why?
So it looks like they got the Giants winning by 2 on this one, and I'm going to take the Giants. I agree with that. Although not phenomenal, they did manage to pull out that week against Tennessee. That win against Tennessee and the Panthers. Baker Mayfield, I had high hopes for Baker Mayfield on that offense, and he didn't look too good. Besides that one, 70-plus touchdown to Robbie Anderson, he did not look good to me. There's still struggles there. Still looks like the Baker Mayfield that left Cleveland. And besides, the backfield, I don't know. I don't really trust Carolina at the moment, and I'm gonna have to go with New York because Saquon's on fire, and I feel like they're gonna do exactly what they did last week. Just feed Saquon the ball.
And Carolina, the Giants did run, or Carolina got ran on pretty well. I didn't mean to start with Carolina. They got ran on pretty well. That's how basically the Browns beat them. Was running, and obviously the Browns are a very well organized running team, really strong up the middle, offensive line and all that. And I think the Giants are as well. Though I don't believe that the Giants defense is near what the Browns defense is. They don't have Miles Garrett off the edge. They don't, So with that, I think that Carolina's going to have a little more success in the game. Also, when the Giants, I think when they play at home. If they get down a little bit, the crowd really starts to get on them. The New York fans up there, and so I really think that Carolina's going to have a bounce back week and come in a little bit of an underdog. That's the way Baker likes to roll, and come out with the win. So I'm going Carolina.
It's like when you take a check and you write that check, and when it's time to go to the bank to cash it, it's an NSF. And that's how Baker made me feel week 1. I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to tell to the bank lady. She looked at me. I looked at her, and I'm like, I'm trying to get this cashed. In Baker's words, that's what he did to me. And so now this is my second opportunity to say, okay, do I trust you? Can I really trust you this time? I'm going to give you one last chance. I'm going to take Carolina just because Tennessee had no wide receivers. And when they when they lost to the Giants did with Saquon Barkley and Sterling Shepard. That worked for them. But now they're going against Carolina that does have wide receivers, but DJ Moore needs to step up. They need to give him some looks, and that's awesome. They gave looks to Robbie Anderson, and then let Christian McCaffrey do what he's got to do. But still, Carolina needs to be more versatile, and so I'm gonna one more time, Carolina. I'm gonna give you a chance. If you do me wrong, I might not go that way. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next one. We have the New York Jets going against the Cleveland Browns. So the Jets took a loss to the Ravens, and Cleveland squeaking out, beating Carolina. So, Tristan, who are you taking and why?
So it's a 6.5 point going towards the Browns. That's what it's looking like on the line. And I agree. I think the Browns, they still got 2 dynamic, amazing running backs. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, they're still phenomenal. They don't even need to pass the ball. It doesn't even matter that they don't have a quarterback because they don't need a quarterback. They can just run the ball, and it's effective, and it works. And the Jets don't really got much going for them defensively to stop that run game. I don't see it happening, and I see that the Browns are going to run all over them.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets aren't going to put up points to make it a passing game for the Browns. I think the Browns are going to grind it out. I do think the Jets are going to come in a little fired up. They're going to come in wanting to play a little harder than they did last week. But at home, Flacco on the road, old man Flacco on the road. I don't think that's looking too pretty. The Browns are going to have their way.
And this is so unfortunate because Joe Flacco, he's still remains the starter. I mean, what can they really do? I mean, you could focus on running the ball, maybe
start calling the Niners. We want Jimmy.
Right.
That's for the Cowboys. They need
but right now, just looking at here, Cleveland has, and they're at home. Oh, they're gonna be rowdied up. The dog pound. That's a place I want to visit one day because those fans are real loyal. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Cleveland. So we'll let you guys get that one. All right, next up we have the Indianapolis Colts going against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Well, the Colts, surprisingly, they're tied, and Jacksonville just coming off a loss. That was kind of we thought they were going to do something against the Commanders, but the Commanders pretty much took care of business there. Chris, who are you taking and why?
Yeah, I mean that was a very good game. The Commanders pulled it out there at the end with a couple of just big plays. But the Jaguars put up a heck of a fight on Sunday, and they were in control for a while. Thought they were going to win the game for a little bit there before just a crazy good connection by that rookie. I think it's the rookie out of on the Commanders who's starting to tear some things up. Anyway, Colts looked rough to say the least. They're not quite firing on all cylinders. I think the Jaguars will be pumped up. I know the Colts are probably the favorite, I would guess.
Yeah, 3.5 points.
Okay.
They're favored.
But I rolled with the Jaguars last week. I think I'm going to skip over that this week. I think I'm going to go with the Colts. I had a quick change of mind there. I just think the Colts are going to – Reich's a good coach. He's going to pull some things together, and they're going to fix some things. I think they're going to do well.
I didn't watch the Colts in Houston game, so I was really surprised when the end of the game score showed on the bottom of the TV and it said 2020 in a time. I was like, what's the Colts tying with the Texans, man? So I'm just going to go ahead and assume, it looked like Jonathan Taylor still did good. It looked like Matty Ice wasn't too bad. He put up some decent stats. Maybe it was just a fluke, Maybe Matty Ice has to get used to that offense, whatever. But it's just the fact that it's the Jaguars against the Colts. I feel like the Colts have more weapons offensively and defensively. It was a fluke week 1. They're not gonna kill the Jags, but I feel like it's gonna be maybe a 7-point game.
Shout out to our friend Kyle, got one of our friends here at the studio. He's part of our show, and he's a big Colts fan. I sent him a text immediately. I was pretty cold on that. I was worse than a bill collector. I hit him up ASAP, like, hey, what's up with your team? I just put salt in the wound kind of thing. The thing is here with Jacksonville has added wide receiver weapons, and like I said, Coach Peterson still is trying to get these guys gelled up, but history shows that the Colts does really well against Jacksonville. I mean, except last year. That was kind of weird watching Jacksonville beat the Colts.
At the end.
I'm just going to say for this time around, I'm going to give the Colts a chance again. I just feel that when it comes to these games, the Colts come a little bit more prepared. But if Jacksonville wins, hey, then there's going to be some questions going up in the air like, okay, what? Because you guys didn't they get rid of their kicker, Rodrigo Blankenship? I think they got rid of him.
They did.
Yeah, he was on my fantasy line. I kicked him out too. He was gone. So we'll give Colts one more shot, but after that, I'll be letting Kyle know what's going on and seeing what's going on with him there. So, all right, next game up, we have the Miami Dolphins going against the Baltimore Ravens. Both coming off wins. Miami beating their rival New England, and also Baltimore defeating the New York Jets. Tristan, who are you taking and why?
So the Ravens are projected to win by 3.5 points. I am going to take the Dolphins.
Oh,
I like the Dolphins this season, man. I think those they played really well. Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill doing good. There was this one clip I saw on Twitter of Tyreek Hill. It was a pick, but he just stole it from the DB.
He had a really good catch that game.
Yeah, man. Tyreek Hill just doing Tyreek Hill things. I miss him, and he's doing really well.
He looks
on
good in
Miami.
the Dolphin jersey.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, he looks great because now he doesn't look like ketchup and mustard. Now he's got flavor.
Okay,
Is this your upset alert?
Yes.
Okay, we'll put that up there.
So
upset alert.
I got the Dolphins winning, not only because their offense I think is looking really well, their defense as well. Who was it? I think Xavier Howard tipped the ball up, gave that pick to Javon Holland. Their defense is looking great, and man, I'm a fan of the Dolphins this season. And although the Ravens did really well, I'm going with the Dolphins.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the home favorites, the Ravens. They looked really good, really strong. Lamar had some amazing throws on Sunday, just right in the breadbasket for these guys.
Oh, yeah.
Scoring some long distance. I mean, accuracy, power, it was all there. Timing.
I think that was for all those people that say
he's still looking to make some money this year. So, I'm going to stick with the Ravens.
This is a real tricky one. Oh, I didn't know if I wanted this to be my upset alert, but I'm going to stay safe on this one. I'm going to take Baltimore because they're at home, but also, too, have you noticed that Lamar got bigger? He's making better precisions. He's staying a little bit longer in the pocket this time around than being happy feet. And also too, the way they're controlling the game, they're trying to limit the mistakes, and I see that. But Miami's going to be a tough contender coming in. Miami's one of those teams that they're not affected by the home. They can go to anybody's house and cause trouble. So I'm going to stay safe. I'm going to go ahead and take Baltimore for this game. Next up, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going against the New Orleans Saints. Both of them 1-0. Tampa Bay coming off a win on that Sunday night game against the Dallas Cowboys, and New Orleans upsetting the Atlanta Falcons.
Barely. That was a.
Chris, who are you taking and why?
I'm going to go with the Buccaneers. That's probably who's favored after their.
Yeah, they're favored 2.5
I just
points.
the New Orleans Saints didn't overly impress me. I thought they should have played much better against the Falcons. They let the Falcons linger around and almost lost the game to them. Kind of had to get it in there in the last minute. So for that reason, I'm just going to go with Tampa Bay. I think that they know they're the top of the division. They're going to walk around with some swag. Although this is a divisional game, so I'm not sure what the spread is, but it's probably still going to be a close game because it's at New Orleans, and it is a divisional game. But I'm going to go with Tampa Bay to take the win.
Yeah, the spread's 2.5 points to Tampa.
Yeah, close one.
Leaving off that, I felt like both the Saints sort of disappointed as well as Tampa Bay because what did they do? Only score one touchdown. That was late in the game against the Cowboys, which they have a decent defense. Can't blame them. But also the Buccaneers didn't play as well as I thought they would. I mean, if you had that kicker on your fantasy team, good job. He kicked a lot of field goals that game. But I'm going to give this one to the Saints. I felt like the way they came back towards
number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like the way the Saints came back towards the end of the game, despite it being the Falcons, it showed, hey, Michael Thomas, he's looking good, and he's back and healthy. He's going to be dangerous. Jarvis Landry, he had a really good game too. I think over 100 yards receiving, which was really good. And Alvin Kamara was pretty silent, and I feel like this week they're going to use him. They're going to utilize him, get that run game going, because I don't think they're going to be down by so much where they have to be forced to pass. And they got a good defense, bro. And this is a really close one, but I'm going to go with the Saints.
All right. Well, guess what, Tristan? I'm going to agree with you on this one. I'm going to take the Who Dey. I'm going to take the Saints.
Who dat?
Who dat? Ooh, Cincinnati's going to come after me now. All right. Thank you for the correction. Thank you so much. I stand corrected. Okay. This is why I'm going for the Saints. Shout out to Tay, huge Saints fan. The reason why is it's going to come down to is Michael Thomas is back. Jarvis Landry needs a little bit more looks. We need to kind of get him involved. But again, I like how the Saints defense, they play well against the Tampa Bay Bucks. And I feel like Tom Brady has had his worst games against the Saints. For some reason, they can read him. They know what to do against him. And we forgot a name, Tyrann Mathieu. Do you not think he's looking at this and say, Tom, you got me, man, but I'm coming back?
Well, it's still the same defensive scheme, right? Because Dennis Allen, or was he offensive coordinator? He was one of the coordinators.
Either way, I mean, it's going to come down to that. And so it's not on my upset alert yet. We still got to pick ours, but I'm going to take the Saints on this one. Next up, we have the Washington Commanders going against the Detroit Lions. Washington coming off their win against Jacksonville, and Detroit coming off a close win, but fell short to the Philadelphia Eagles. Tristan, who are you taking and why?
So the spread's 1.5 points going towards the Lions. They think they're going to win. And I'm going to agree. I will go with the Lions. And the reason being, it's just one reason. His name's Swift. DeAndre Swift, man. He
looked good.
He played phenomenally. PFF graded him as the highest graded running back this week. I'm so happy that, they're using him so much because he's phenomenal, man. And they have decent wide receivers. St. Brown, he played really well too. Could be considered a wide receiver 1. And I like that offense against the Washington defense. Although Washington has a decent offense, I really just like the weapons that Detroit has more on offense.
I feel sorry for you, Detroit. I got to go with Washington, though. I just think that, they were lighting it up. Wentz is starting to get a good connection with some of those young receivers. And, man, they're fast. So, and of course they have a strong defensive line, a bunch of first rounders up there up front. Ron Rivera is a good defensive coach. So I'm going to go with the Washington Commanders here.
I want to
I guess for an upset, you said it's pretty close line, though.
Yeah, 1.5
It's
points.
still not
pretty
your
small.
upset alert.
I wouldn't give that an upset
Okay,
alert.
I'm going to
That's-
do
'cause that's
is
still
you
real
call
close.
it. You will call your upset alert. Okay, so
That's still close enough.
see the
that
suspense is
it's
getting
not
to
a
me.
major
The
upset.
suspense
I'm
is
looking
getting to me. That's why.
I'm looking for more points than 1.5.
Okay. Duly noted. All right. Well, I'm going to piggyback off of you, Tristan, again. I'm going to go ahead and take the Lions, but this is what I would like to challenge. I'd like Jared Goff to start reconnecting with his former teammate, Reynolds, wide receiver. Get on a running back committee. You got Jamal Williams.
Mm-hmm.
He's a bigger guy than Swift.
Mm-hmm.
Let Swift do his carries and let him take care of third down situations and maybe goal line. I mean, I'm not trying to be picky for the fantasy guys out there, but it's just that the thing is Detroit has the weapons that they need. Defensively, they're still skeptical. They gave up 38 points to the Eagles. So there's a balance there. So I would give Detroit, they're at home, and we'll see what happens. Next up, we have the Los Angeles Rams going against the Atlanta Falcons. Both coming off losses. The Rams home opener against the Bills. Our Super Bowl champions lost pretty bad to the Bills. And also we have the Atlanta Falcons just coming off a loss to New Orleans. Chris, who are you taking away?
Well, I think that this is going to be LA's kind of get it back in sorts. I feel sorry for you, Atlanta. You played so well against the New Orleans Saints and tried to bring it out. I think that going across country and just the Rams being a little PO'd coming off the butt whooping they took from the Bills, I think the Falcons are going to take the brunt of that. And I'm not sure how much the Rams are favored by, but you can probably bet that that's what they're going to win by
It's
at
a
least
lot,
by that.
They're favored to win by.
I'm taking the
10.5.
Rams if that was up.
They're favored to win by 10.5, so it is a lot, and I understand why. Because I agree, it's the Rams, man. Falcons surprisingly played well against the Saints, but the Rams played bad. But they played bad against a Super Bowl contender. I don't blame them, man. Maybe they're just rough. Need to, I don't know, get everything together. It was just a bad week for the Rams, but despite that, they still have an amazing defense, great offensive weapons. It's the Rams, man.
I'm going to go ahead and defer. I'm going to go for the Falcons.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to switch it up on you guys.
Falcons.
Is that yours? Is that your big one?
No, it's not
That's
there
a big
yet.
old upset.
The reason why I'm going to go for Atlanta is Cordell Patterson.
Dude,
He is
beast
so
mode.
and don't count out Pitts either. I mean, don't count out that. The thing is, Mariota just needs to utilize his weaponry, put their aces in their places. And the thing is that right now you're going against the Rams that's demoralized right now. Now, if you don't catch them while they're slipping, they'll beat you. But here's the thing. Jalen Ramsey has proved already right now he's not really shutting nobody down right now. So he is beatable. He is beatable. And right now, Darnold, if you double team him, you get him situated. I mean, you're creating a lot of opportunities. So I'm going to take Atlanta on this one.
Okay.
All right. So we've got the Arizona Cardinals going against the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm over here. I got all confused with the abbreviation here. Both of them are coming off losses. Arizona got stomped by the Kansas City Chiefs. And then the Raiders barely losing to the Los Angeles Chargers. Tristan, who are you taking and why?
All right, so looks like the Raiders are projected to win by 5 points. I got the Raiders winning by a lot more than that. The way that the Chiefs made the Cardinals look was terrible. And the Raiders, they did really well. Devontae Adams, phenomenal first game with this new team.
He did have a good start to
I think
the
he had
season.
so many targets. I don't even know how many. Like, that was his go-to guy already in the first game. So I think that's sitting well. And, we clearly know Arizona has a terrible DB group. Their defense is not good, and Devontae Adams is going to have another 100-yard game, 20 targets, whatever. They're just going to feed Adams, and I feel like it's going to be a blowout.
Yeah, I'm of the similar notion. I'm going to also throw into there Max Crosby on the Raiders line. That guy he goes to work every single play. So I'm going to stick with the Raiders as well.
Don, this one's for you. You and Terry. The Raiders, commitment to
Raiders,
excellence. Well, here's the deal. I'm going for the Raiders for the simple fact that they have proven already, hey, my friend's back. So Devontae Adams is back, but come on, don't be stingy. Let's get Winfro involved. Come on, we need Waller. We need Jacobs to get his runs in. We've got weapons. You've got weapons as well.
yeah.
And Derek Carr it looked like he's having fun out there. The Chargers game kind of proved to him that, okay, we still got a little bit of things to go. Max Crosby, he's amazing player. I'm just glad that the AFC West has boosted up. I'm going to take the Raiders at home. They're going to go ahead and take care of business. Let's go ahead and move on to, we have the Houston Texans visiting the Denver Broncos. Okay, Houston's coming off that tie against the Colts, and Denver losing that Monday night game to the Seattle Seahawks. Drisson, who are you taking and why? Okay, you can answer now.
All right, bro.
You're
So
wasting
basically, Denver, I understand it's 4th and 5, bro. You're gonna take your quarterback who you just paid $4 million for.
Take him off the field.
Take him off the field with 5 yards to go, and trust your kicker to kick like the second longest field goal.
You would have tied it.
I would have tied the second longest field goal.
And by the way, you weren't in Denver at the time.
You weren't in Denver.
Maybe if you're in Denver, that's different. But
that play calling at the end just sit right
it's a
with
rookie
me.
coach, right?
Did not sit right with me at all, man. I did not like that, and I was surprised that Houston, they were putting up a fight against the Colts, so I thought we were going to be very good. In my opinion, bro, okay, I'm going with the Houston Texans on this one. It's a 10-point. It's a 10 point.
Is that your upset alert there?
That's another one.
Big
He
point
already
spread.
had one. He only gets one.
I only get one.
But he didn't know at the
changing
time.
I'm
You
changing
called
it to
it.
this one. This is my
This is
upset
the
because
big
it's a 10-point. They're favored to win by 10 points.
So
the
if you're
Broncos.
calling Texas as win outright, that's a big
Okay, so
upset.
that is your upset alert.
Yes.
Texans.
I got the
Okay.
Texans winning by like a field goal.
Okay.
Man, because the way that Russ didn't play bad. He played really, well. It's just the key mistakes with those fumbles, the 1 yard line that they capitalized on, the Seahawks. I feel like Houston can do the same thing, man. So I'm going with Houston on this one.
So we'll get to this here in just a minute with my Bengals, but I feel the similar thing with the Broncos from Sunday is like just everything that they could go wrong to make them lose that game basically happened, like poor decision making, but also the fumbles. Like they didn't decide to fumble, and the guy was trying to get if he had just held onto it a second longer, it would have been a touchdown. Instead, he starts to lose it, and anyway, I don't think they're going to have quite that many issues coming in. I also don't think the Texans are going to put up quite that struggle in Denver. I'm going to take Denver. I don't think necessarily they're going to win by whatever the point spread is, as being as big as it is. But I do think that they're going to win the game outright. So I would go Denver at home.
Any sane person would, but I am not sane. I like getting on your nerves, Carlos, so we'll see.
Here's the deal. Russ comes to Denver, looks great in orange. Because that green Monday night had my eyes just hurting. It was just so bright. And you go over there, you got paid that money, and you're to deliver. They paid you that money, and you are supposed to be critical in these situations. Got a new coach. This new coach is fired up, and okay, so your players start fumbling the ball. You start committing a lot of mistakes. I mean, you're worse than the Cowboys. You're making all these mistakes, and then at the end, you go out for a field goal. I mean, in this situation, you're 4th and 5th and 4th and 5, and you got paid all this money. This is what you live for. This could have been, hey, I got this. Let Russ cook. But, of course, a lot of things could have happened. The coach didn't have faith in Russ, or the coach had a better plan. But here's the deal. As simple, we're just going to tie it down the middle. We're going back at home. We're receiving the Houston Texans. Russ needs to get these guys back in line. The run game, hold on to the ball. And then, other than that, coach, make better play decisions. Come on, man. You got to help me out a little bit. I'm going to take Denver. I'm going to take them by 7. So we'll get Denver by 7.
Understandable.
All right, the Sunday night game, we have the Chicago Bears visiting the Green Bay Packers. Chicago coming off the great win against the 49ers, going against the team that got stomped by the Vikings, the Green Bay Packers. Chris, who are you taking and why?
This one, I am going to throw out my upset alert.
All right, there it is.
I'm going to go with, I assume the Green Bay Packers are, I don't have the exact point spread, but it looks like they're probably the favorites.
10 by 10 points, yes.
Yeah, so I'm going to take the Chicago Bears. I'm going to take them to win outright, but I wouldn't even necessarily bet, even if you don't think they're going to win outright. I mean, that's a big spread. I think they looked pretty dang good against the Niners, man. The Niners, I think, had a big old point spread on it. Everyone thought they were going to come. Justin Fields looked composed. He was doing well. I mean, he made Trey Lance look like just a backwoods, never played before, I thought. And I think that defense is starting to roll. And I think they're tired of – I think the NFC North's just kind of getting tired of old Aaron Rodgers. And they see an opportunity to maybe kick him while he's down this year. And I think they're going to take that. I got Chicago winning this game.
Not bad. I want to throw some stats out here. So Devontae Adams in week 1, this was his stats. He had 10 catches, 141 yards, and 1 touchdown. The wide receivers for the Packers combined, they had 11 catches for 95 yards and 0 touchdowns.
Look at the brains on this guy.
Yeah, so the Packers receiving, like we were scared of from the very beginning, the Packers receivers do not look good. That wide open pass that would have been a touchdown to that rookie that dropped it. Oh, I felt so bad for Rodgers. That was terrible.
There was no discount double checks on that one.
Man, the receivers, it doesn't look that good. And they're giving a lot of work to A.J. Dillon rather than Aaron Jones in that backfield. A.J. Dillon's getting a lot of work, which he's a good running back, but that ain't good for my fantasy team. So, but this is tough because on the other hand, we have Chicago. They looked good against the Niners, but it was pouring. The field was flooded. It's hard to run even on that field with the water coming and splashing on you. And
Niners were playing on that same field.
They were. I'm going to throw that game out the window because that's a terrible environment to play in. So Trey Lance was his first game, and that was his first game as starting the season was that. It was terrible. I'm just going to give the benefit of the doubt to Trey Lance and the Niners. Just terrible weather. I do like the Bears this season, but even with how terrible the Packers receivers are, I feel like they're going to get on it and they're going to win. Maybe not by 10 points, but by a touchdown. So I'm going with the Packers on this one.
I'm going to go for the Bears. I think they're getting tired of Aaron Rodgers, and I think finally now they caught him while he's low. They're going to get at him. And now that this is but I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk because Aaron Rodgers, that's the team that he likes to beat on the most is the Bears. So I'll give Chicago the win on this one for Sunday night.
Hey, there you go.
All right, next up we have the Tennessee Titans going against the Buffalo Bills. The Titans coming off a loss against the Giants and the Bills destroying the Rams. Tristan, who are you taking and why?
I think this is obvious. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills. In my opinion, if there's any team that's as big of a threat as can beat the Chiefs, it's the Bills. They play phenomenally. They're amazing. I have Josh Allen at quarterback, who's also their running back because none of their running backs can put up stats like him. He's just great at running the ball as well. He's a big guy, so it's definitely the Bills, especially with how Tennessee played against the Giants, man. So, yeah, I'm going with the Bills, no brainer.
Yeah, and the Bills' defense is so much better than the Giants.
Definitely.
And yeah, I mean, this is going to be sad. 10 points is generous. If they only beat them by 10, the Titans should be happy. Bills all the way on this
10
one.
points was how much they were projected to win by. That's a good number.
I'm going to go for the Bills as well. They're at home, and Tennessee right now they're relying a lot on the run game, and since they don't have A.J. Brown no more, they really don't have anyone that's a threat. And so I don't know how Coach Vrabel's going to handle that, but the Bills are just going to dismantle them. So we're going to take Buffalo on that one. All right, next game up, we have the Minnesota Vikings going against the Philadelphia Eagles. I believe this is the Monday night game. Tristan, who are you taking and why?
All right, so it looks like they got the Eagles winning by 2, so it's a really close game. This is tough for me. I feel like they both have great weapons. It's a really tough one because I'm liking how Jalen Hurts is playing, man.
Oh, yeah.
He's playing really well. He fed A.J. Brown. Picking up A.J. Brown's paying dividends for them right now.
Already.
But also the Vikings, man.
Jefferson's
really good as well. But I'm going with the Vikings on this one, maybe by a field goal. I keep it close game simply because they have Justin Jefferson. Their offense is looking really good right now.
Yeah, I've got which I guess these would be considered upset if you said Eagles were favored, right, by a couple?
Yeah, by
Not that they're upset alerts, but I'm going to go Vikings as well. I just thought they looked really, really good. Their offense was clicking. I trust, even though I don't really trust Kirk Cousins a little more probably than Jalen Hurts, but Hurts did look really well. I think that the Vikings have a stronger run game, although Miles Sanders was starting to come on finally a little bit, but man, he's such an injury risk. And yeah, the Vikings' weapons on the outside and everything is just too much for the Eagles. So I'm going with the Vikings to win.
And I think you also got to take into consideration the Eagles played the Lions. They
Right.
have really good defense, and the Vikings they played the Packers, who it's not
And
the best,
shut
but
'em
they
down.
have a good defense, some great DBs. So
Well, and I would say that the Packers' offense is better than the Eagles' offense as well. So, well, maybe not this year with the lack of weapons.
I would
but
disagree
still,
with that.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers can still pick apart.
Yeah,
I
Aaron
mean, he can
Rodgers
still pick
is
someone apart, and I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to have quite that. It's going to be a different skill set they're guarding, but I think the Vikings will be able to handle it.
All right. That was going to be my upset alert. I'm going to go ahead and take the Vikings. That's going to be my upset alert. I think we need Thielen to step up. He wasn't getting the ball enough. And then also, too, let's just go ahead and get who's the tight end for the Vikings? I always keep forgetting who it is. It's Smith, right?
Irv Smith.
Yeah, let's create some diversity here. So let's go ahead and get that going. Our next game up, we have the Cincinnati Bengals going to the Big D in Dallas, take on the Dallas Cowboys. Who are you taking and why? I'm going to start this off with Chris. Just so
I mean, you know
with.
what I got to do here. I got to go. Although my boys didn't pull it out this last weekend, they had some serious, just crazy issues. Losing a long snapper that had snapped for 202 straight games, never missed a snap in 200 games. Gets hurt in the third quarter, and they bring in the emergency snapper, muffs those kicks there at the end. Anyway, not to make excuses for them. But I think that I know that they have another long snapper on their practice squad that was 202 games. That guy's old, so
Yeah.
they have someone that was ready to step in when he was if he was showing signs of slowing down. Now he's out with a torn bicep, and so they'll have this other kid in. I think they're going to be okay. Obviously, McPherson, when he did have his regular snapper, he had a 59-yarder there in the first half that just, I mean, boom, it had some room on it too. So I'm going to go with the Bengals. Dallas is banged up. It's probably not going to be it's probably going to be a pretty tight game, even though Dak's not in, just because I know that defense is pretty strong and they can hit some turnovers. It'll probably be a close game with maybe a touchdown coming at the end to spread it out with the Bengals taking the win.
Yeah, they're projected to win by 7.5 points, and I agree with that, man. Dallas, they look terrible against Tampa. They look terrible. And I think despite that, bad game by the Bengals, it wasn't really that bad of a game. Just, those.
Bad first half.
Yeah.
Really
bad.
bad.
So,
4 interceptions in a half is a bad first half.
So, but I still got to go with the Bengals. It's the same Bengals that made it to the Super Bowl last year. Joe Burrow still in the backfield. Joe Mixon looked great. Jamar Chase was phenomenal again. They still have a good defense. And compared to how the Cowboys played, they didn't even score a touchdown. The only team to not score a touchdown this week.
Terrible. Oh, wow.
And Dak is out now. We got Cooper Rush. They have to rely on Cooper Rush. So, bro, Cowboys are not pulling that win. They're not going to win against the Bengals this week.
Well, here's the thing: is I'm more excited to see Micah Parsons. I want to see how many sacks he's going to get going against that line of the Bengals. I mean, I got him projected getting 2 sacks. That's it. That's where I'm more excited about. But other than that, it's going to be the Bengals win. All right, so next game up, we have the 49ers going against the Seahawks. One's coming off a win, one's coming off a loss. Who are you taking, Tristan, and why?
Oh, Niners are projected to win by 9.5 points. Shout out to my girlfriend. She's a Niners fan because I'm going with the Niners. Seahawks played the Broncos. What more can I say? No wonder they won. So it's the Niners. Trey Lance's like I said last week, George Kittle was out. Trey Lance's first game as a starter was in that terrible weather, man. I don't even know how they even bothered trying to continue playing that game. But I agree. They're going to shut out the Seahawks because they're not the Broncos.
Oh, this was almost going to be my upset alert because I'm going to go with Seahawks. I don't have any really great reasons because they're not great. But they play pretty dang well for having kind of a A&a-half team out there, not a full necessarily A roster. Geno Smith looked pretty dang well. He looked comfortable and accurate. I know they don't have anyone crazy, but man, the 49ers did not look like they were playing well together. They looked discombobulated. I saw they ran what was it, a third and long, and it was a design quarterback draw, and I was like, are you just trying to get Lance hurt so you can get Garoppolo out here? I mean, really, he wound up pulling it off, but Lance looked pretty banged up at the end of that run. All that to say that I don't trust the 49ers. And if I was a betting man, I'm sure I would take the Seahawks with that. What did you say? 9.5 point spread. That's a big spread. That's what I said. It was almost my upset alert, but I like the 10 points that Chicago was getting. But I'll go Seattle.
Oh, okay. And here's also a quick fact: the 49ers, they're 8-29 when Jimmy G isn't starting under Kyle Shanahan. So they have a terrible record when Jimmy G's not the starter.
And he's still not. He's still sipping Mai Tais on the side.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm going to take Seattle. I mean, Seattle's coming off an impressive win. So I'm going to take Seattle.
Y'all guys.
Yeah, they made me a little believers there. So,
Okay.
all right. So let's go
bright
ahead.
green just burned into your head.
It did. All right. It did. All right. So let's go ahead and get on the game of the week. It is brought to you by Heavenly Scents with Kim. Contact our friend Kim for your scentistry needs, candles, body wash, and amazing smells. Thank you, Kim. So we have the Los Angeles Chargers visiting the Kansas City Chiefs.
Kingdom.
All right. So break it down. Who's going to win? And I'm not going to start with you, Tristan. I'm going to start with you, Chris.
I'm only going to do this because as we're playing this game, I need to have some wins against Tristan, so I can't pick the same teams as him. And I'm pretty sure who he's going to pick here because they looked really good on Sunday. But I'm going to go with the Chargers. I know they kind of stumbled coming out of the gate and had a little bit of problems, but they really pulled it together that second half, started working as a team. And, man, they just have so much talent. I know I believe Keenan Allen's not going to be playing this game.
Yeah, he's out.
But they still have so much other talent. It is going to be a close game, but I'm gonna Chargers play the Chiefs pretty dang well, and I believe beat them at home, in Arrowhead last year. So I'm gonna have a repeat of last year. Chargers are gonna win this one.
So on the spread, Chiefs they're gonna win by 4. I think they're going to win by a touchdown probably. I think it's going to be a really good, close game, as it should be, because the Chargers, you're right, they have great weapons. Keenan Allen's out, so that leaves Mike Williams is the number one. Other than Mike Williams, I can't really name a receiver. That makes a big impact, you know.
Sure.
And
who's your number one?
Yeah.
But they're kind of used to it because that happens every year to Keenan Allen.
Yeah. Okay, well, here are also some stats. So last week, 5 players had five or more hurries in week 1, right? 3 of them were from the Chiefs. Chris Jones had 6. George Kalafdit, I don't even know how to say his last name. Our first round pick had 5. Man, and then somebody else had 6 or 5. I'm not seeing the name on there. Anyway,
I heard Pacheco was making some noise.
Pacheco, for a 7th round pick, he had a touchdown. He had a really good game. You don't see a 7th round pick coming out in their very first game and scoring a touchdown. So, yeah, he was making some noise. But Chiefs. Everybody doubted us when Tyreek Hill left. And, okay, it was against the Cardinals. They are banged up. Don't have
No, they
good
looked
defense.
great. They looked very well on. But I also don't think. I mean, they didn't have J.J. Watt in for Arizona.
J.J. Watt was,
The D-backs are not. I mean, they're not Chargers D-backs.
They're not.
I think the Chargers are just a much better team and are gonna give them all that they can handle. And if they're coming in there a little overconfident, I think the Chargers are gonna give them a little bloody lip.
I'm coming in a little overconfident, man.
All right, I'll wrap this up really quick on this one. Here's the deal. So Justin Herbert and the Chargers going in, they're 5-2. Justin Herbert has done well against the Chiefs at Arrowhead. For some reason, I don't know why. He loves it. He goes into Arrowhead, he beats them, but then when they play home, you guys beat them. It's going to be an interesting game. I'm just curious to see what the Chargers are going to wear, what kind of scheme color, because they can multi-change color. I'm gonna bet on the jersey color. I think tomorrow they're gonna wear white with bright yellow this time.
Okay,
All right,
okay.
there we go. No, I'm gonna take the Chargers because it can't go against the Chiefs. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
Shout out to Marty and Val, big Chief fans, and Jordan family. By the way,
I mean, you can go for a tie.
No, let's just go for the Chargers. Let's just say this: Justin Herbert is going to not have to rely so much on Mike Williams because Mike Williams is notorious to beating the Chiefs. But I think
they're going to run it well.
They're going to run, but who we've not said is Gerald Everett. I think Gerald Everett has been a nice addition, and I think especially in the tight end. I mean, in the tight end position, he's going to create some points. So I'm just going to go by a field goal. I think it's going to come down to a field goal.
Okay.
So that concludes the game of the week. Let's go ahead and give a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
What's up, folks? It's your pal, Chris with a K. Let me introduce you to a new friend of mine, Ryan Wagner at WAG Sports Memorabilia in Des Moines, Iowa. Your number one source for sports memorabilia. We're talking hats, t-shirts, jackets, and all sorts of other items. And not only that, Ryan can get you any of these items for any team, NCAA, NFL, NBA, and the Major League Baseball guys. So make sure if you're in Iowa, and especially Des Moines, stop in at WAG Sports Memorabilia. Also find them on the web at www.wagsports.com. Thanks, Ryan. You guys have a great day.
All right. Well, this is the last segment. Driston, we're going to start off with the new show, Who's Hot and Who's Not.
Lord.
So, Driston, who is hot?
This is pertaining to fantasy, right?
Surprise me.
Is it teams or players?
Teams.
Hot teams, NFL teams.
Oh, this is
Yeah, I know he's
obvious.
gonna
It's
pick.
the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, 300. He's leading. He's first with passing touchdowns, passer rating, and passing yards right now, and he's hot. The Chiefs are hot. That's why we're going to win this week as well.
I'm going to go with the Dolphins, taking down older big, taking down Big Brother and the Patriots solidly too. I mean, just putting it to them for 4 quarters and looking good and really, man, they look fast in Miami. So that's who I'm going with. Who's hot?
And I'm going to take Seattle. The reason why I'm going to say that because they pretty much told Russell Wilson and Sierra and all the baggage they brought in before, hey, you came back home, we don't want you. Those fans are brutal. I did see some orange. There was some orange out there. But the thing is, Seattle, the way that they played, they were aggressive on the front line. They were getting after Russell. I mean, offensively, really, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett didn't really do much noise. It was, again, back to the tight ends, back to just staying consistent in Geno Smith. So Seattle, I'd like to see what they'll do. So maybe they might surprise us. They might give a run in the NFC West. Now, let's start off with who's not.
You want to know why the Seattle was hot? It's because Denver is not.
Oh, that sounds so funny.
Very disappointing by
he's going
Denver.
for.
That's what I'm going for. Very disappointing by Denver.
I like that.
I was very disappointed.
That's my
they're
thumbs
not.
up. That's my thumbs up right there.
Yeah, I got to go with who's not hot is, they were just on the tip of my tongue. And I got too wrapped up in Driston's saying there of who is not. I'm going to just keep pouring on them because I just picked Seattle to beat them in a big spread. San Francisco, you guys just did not look good. And I think I love it that it's the beginning of the downfall for San Francisco. Let them wallow in the wastelands. I can't stand the Niners. Sorry, that's fandom just letting loose there for a second. I apologize.
Shout out to all my Cowboy friends, the fans and my friends that are out there.
yeah.
Here's the deal, you guys. You guys are not hot right now. You guys are real cold. Like my feelings, cold. And I'll tell you why. Dak's hurt. You guys overspent on the Zeke. Zeke's not really producing. Then we're watching the Sunday night game. I mean, Micah Parsons is my guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said it before, he's the player I like to watch, representing Penn State. The guy is a monster lineup. And there was a segment while I was watching I think it was Undisputed, and I quote that one of the plays when Micah Parsons was trying to get his second sack, playoff Lenny clipped him. And the thing is that's respect, in the words of Shannon Sharp. They know you're a menace, and now they have to cover you. But your team as a whole, let's see what Cooper Rush does. I mean, you can't put too much pressure on Cooper. I mean, what can he do with the weapons that he has? I mean, you got Brown that got some receptions in. CeeDee Lamb's going to get covered quite a bit. I mean, you still have Schultz. I mean, you got some stuff going on there, but you're going against a team in the Bengals that are an offense nightmare. They've got weapons, and they're just going to create havoc, and it's just going to be so. With that being said, you've got the Commanders, you've got the Giants ahead of you, and the Eagles. You're in last place, Dallas. So, come on, prove me wrong. Let's see what's going on. So, other than that, you guys, that wraps up week 2. So any shout-outs before we go?
Oh, shout out to you, man. Thank you for inviting me. I love coming on this show and talking football.
Yeah, just shout out to Eric and Powell and all the guys doing the work. And Carlos, thanks for getting us here. And my buddy Damon, who is a big Cowboys fan. Sorry that Carlos just crapped all over your team.
Why you have to put my name like that?
I'm just kidding.
Well, let me piggyback off you there. So all the Dallas fans, shout out to my friend Luis Carbajal and family. Hope you guys are doing well as always. Gutta, much love. The Brooks family. Also, let's go ahead and give a quick shout out to. I want to thank a group entity is called Rainbows. They help out with kids and all that. Great staff and family. I want to give a shout out to all of you guys and everyone that helps out with children, with people with special needs. I appreciate I think we have what's called Starkey here, and I want to just thank you guys for the things that you do, and I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart there. Also, I want to thank a new company for supplements called Arsenal. Great staff there. I went out there, so shout out to you guys. Also, give a shout out to you guys here, Chris, and of course you, Tristan. Even though we go at it, but I love it. That's what makes football. And thanks to guys behind the scenes as well. Eric, thank you. Thank you, pal. Appreciate you guys, and look forward to week 3. So we're out.